Hey, what's up, everyone? I just saw Blue Beetle in theaters. I saw it in Dolby, and it is great. I really enjoyed it. It's directed by Angel Manuel Soto and written by Gareth Dunnet-Alcocer. Now, we've seen the trailers. In the trailers, I had mentioned this in some of my live streams, you keep hearing that song, I just want to rock, 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 rock. I just want to rock. That invaded my mind. That invaded my brain. And that was one of the reasons why I had to see this movie. Because that song kept playing in those trailers. I kept playing that trailer in a lot of different films, in front of a lot of different films that I saw. But dang, it worked, dude. And also the good word of mouth that I've seen on social media and on YouTube about this film, how much fun it is. A lot of smiles, a lot of tears, a lot of laughs. And I got to say, dude, I had like a couple tears after the first 5 minutes, bro. This family meant everything. The heart that you feel in this movie with this family is absolute. It's so exceptional. It's so good. It's something that we have been missing, that grounded feeling in superhero movies of like, what really matters out there? You know, what really matters in life? And you really got to feel that. And when you see the trailers, you're like, okay, I know what the story is going to be. Family's important. They don't just say it, they show it. They show it in this film. You really feel that support. And I got to say, folks, you know, I was thinking about this driving back from the theater. What film I would compare this to? Sam Raimi's Spider-Man is what jumps to mind first. Yeah, that's right. We're talking probably that good, okay? Everybody that's a part of this movie definitely should be proud because they made something. Amidst a lot of noise in the superhero world, they made something that I think stands on its own. And I can see why James Gunn is already saying, hey, Jaime Reyes, Blue Beetle, is the first member of the DCU. And I'm down, dude. I'm down. Xolo Maridueña, my man. You are amazing. He is amazing. He has so much charisma. You're rooting for him throughout the entire movie. I've watched every episode of Cobra Kai, which is one of the greatest shows ever. Xolo Maridueña is going to be a movie star. He is a movie star. I want to support him in pretty much every project. That's how much charisma he brings to the table. He is Jaime Reyes, bro. It was like when Injustice 3 comes out, you are Jaime Reyes in the game, dude. Just make a Blue Beetle game, bro. James Gunn, Peter Safran, make a Blue Beetle game with NetherRealm. Done. All right? You can send the check in the mail, okay? George Lopez is hilarious, bro. God, he's so funny. He's so funny. I always felt George Lopez got a bit of a raw deal when he had Lopez Tonight, and then they brought Conan over, and they pushed Lopez Tonight later, and I thought George took it like a champ, but it's like, yo, you guys are doing the same thing to me that NBC did to Conan. And I always respected him for keeping his chin up during that, because that's a lot of backdoor deals that even if you have good ratings, you know, unfair things happen to you in life in general, but in the Hollywood world. And I just think George Lopez crushed this role so much. I mean, I could see Academy Award nominated George Lopez in the future. For this film, probably, maybe. I'd be voting for it. Golden Globe, absolutely. For a comedy, because it's a comedic role. Yeah, I could see him probably being nominated because, I mean, there's so many one-liners and fun jokes and physical comedy he brings to the table, man. He is on it, dude. Everybody that was a part of this family was on it with their performances. So shout out to everyone, again, acting-wise. Awesome job. The family is the heart of this movie, and it is what makes the difference. The chemistry is there. There's beauty and simplicity. Yes, we've seen this hero's journey story before, countless times. But why does it work? Because it resonates something in all of us. In all of us. You know, I can empathize in so many ways watching this film. You go off to school, you're trying to help your family so they can stay on their feet. I know that life. You get a college degree, you're in debt, and the only job you can get's at minimum wage. I know that life. So even with the Latino culture as being a cornerstone to this film's script and story resonates, I think, with every person that watched it, which makes it so great. And Spanish is my second language. I've been in many Latin American homes, I've been in many Hispanic homes. Spanish, that language, permeates so much of American culture. and to hear some of these jokes and some of these insults that they're like, we'll get away with the closed captioning saying like, oh, we're gonna kick their asses. I'm like, bro, they said something much worse in Spanish, dude. If you walked into a room and said, oh, I'm gonna kick some ass, like, nobody bats an eye. But if you walk into a room and say, chinga de tu madre, that's a little bit different, bro. So it was kind of funny, like some of these folks that are like, oh, it's in Spanish, it's not going to count as much as, the F word or whatnot. It's like, it's pretty up there. So you get to see and hear some great insults in Spanish, real down, deep, guttural, entire body putting into that performance. And bro, like people in the audience were reacting to it, man. It was great. It was great. The Latino culture definitely was represented for sure, man. A lot of great jokes, a lot of great moments. The visual effects were great. The suit looked really good. Always go with the practical suit. Always go with the practical suit. It looked awesome. And yeah, there's a couple seams that you could see with the visual effects, but none of them were jarring at all. I even got blue on my tongue from the blue raspberry that I had to be on theme today from the icy that I had at the theater. The visual effects, yeah, you can tell some shots were made from visual effects, but as an audience member, it was okay. Because you were having such a good time with the story, you were giving the element of disbelief, not the element of disbelief, you know what I'm trying to say. Suspension of disbelief, that's the word I'm looking for. But we as an audience member are like, hey, it's okay if I can notice that that's some visual effects because everything else is firing on all cylinders. So the visual effects look really good for what I'm sure the budget was, which I don't know. I'll have to look it up. Good action, good fight scenes. It's inspired in some parts by Injustice 2, which, hey, director Angel Manuel Soto, genius idea. Why not go to some of the material that's been out there, a lot of the capture that's been out there, motion capture for this character that I think is so cool to watch in Injustice 2. And to use some of those movesets and ideas for the film, great. Give video games the proper respect that they deserve because it takes a lot of talented, creative people to put that together. And it's fun to see Jaime in the story mode for Injustice 2. Susan Sarandon is diabolical, bro. Not over the top, not hammy, just so focused on sacrifice for the greater good and what that really means, especially if you're rich and on top and everybody else is below you, if you will. So she really brings everything to the table as a established actor should, and with her style as an actress, you could feel the layers. You could feel a bit of the complications sometimes, but just the vindictiveness. And they go into a bit why she would be vindictive, but it doesn't justify why she does what she does. So yeah, she brings it as the villain. The story goes heavy. Dude, when it comes to some of the history of the Latin American experience and how American corporate empires ruined millions of lives in that region for many years, you get to see a bit of that. And I was really fascinated to see that the director went in that route for a certain sequence. And I won't reveal what sequence that is, but man, it makes you think. It really opens up your chest and pulling at the heartstrings of like, oh boy, we're going deep. There's some deep water. Definitely something to think about. There were tears, there were laughs, there were cheers. Definitely an applause at the end, including from me. I definitely cheered at the end. I highly recommend seeing Blue Beetle in theaters. I will buy this on disc, probably 4K disc. And I will also highly recommend the soundtrack. Bro, the soundtrack is fire. It is so good. We got to look up who did the score. Last name's Krillick. It says music by the Hawks and Cloak. Bobby Krillick. Krlic. He's a British artist, composer, music producer based in Los Angeles. Yeah, his solo artist name is the Hawks and Cloak. He's got 2 full-length albums. But dude, he rocked. The very beginning of the movie, when the music starts, I was in. I was sold right at the beginning. And when you have somebody that can put together some music that is fire that I'm going to be loading in my Jeep when I'm driving around, this guy's going to be making some money as well. So kudos to everybody involved. Blue Beetle is an absolute C in the theaters. If I was to rate this, 8 out of 10 at least, maybe a 9 out of 10 after I think about it or I see it again. It feels like the first Spider-Man, bro. That level of quality. Remember that blew everybody away and that kind of changed superhero movies forever? Well, this maybe is not going to change superhero movies forever, but it's going to remind you why we like superhero movies and why we like rooting for characters that have heart. Jaime Reyes is like Peter Parker, bro. He's an everyman. He comes from the streets. And that was another thing that I really liked about this film that I'll talk about in my spoiler review, about the necessity, I think, of thinking smaller when it comes to communities and towns and cities. Not thinking global, but thinking local. And what that can mean in the world of superheroes. Woo! Man, I'm so happy. I'm jazzed that this film has me thinking about that type of stuff rather than just being a cookie cutter. Here we go. You know, it's going to be more the same. I dig it, man. Go see this film. I'd love to know what you think in the comments below. If you haven't seen the film, what do you think about the marketing, the trailers? Has any of it inspired you to go see it? I definitely go see it. All right, everybody. That's my non-spoiler review for Blue Beetle. Check out my spoiler review dropping here pretty soon, and I'll see you online.